that amazing? Christians are persecuted in the West Bank. Everybody in Britain can see what a nasty, unpleasant type of people Jewish people are in English. So if you're living in English, should be. If you're living in England, sorry, I didn't. Hello, people, whoever you are.
Yeah, if we're living in England,
if you're living in England,
Jewish people living in England,
you should take the part of English people. You're parasites if you behave like this. English people, basically Christian, whether they were brought up in a Christian country or not, should be abiding to the type of life we live in England.
Can I ask you a question?
No, I'm doing the talking, not you.
So it's not a discussion. It's just a.
This isn't a discussion.
Would you like a discussion?
I tell you this.
I've got a question for you. If you want to educate me,
discuss with Jewish people.
Really?
That is your philosophy.
People, I'm not condoning death of any sort, but people go around killing people wherever, you know, most of the time. It's just, I wish people could just live in peace.
Don't we all? But Hamas is a terrorist organisation, and those people have given them money via Viva Palestina convoy to Gaza, which we saw in front of the world's press. They presented money to Hamas.
Look at Article 7 of the Hamas Charter. It mentions killing Jews. Article 7 of the Hamas Charter.
Well, I have to bow to you.
Well, you can.
It does. Look it up. It's on the internet. Do you think it's appropriate that they're in your church? That's all I'm asking you.
That's what we get into.
When you put it like that, it sounds unreasonable. I agree.
So you should be part of Britain. It's a culture which Israeli or Jewish people don't understand. You're not part of my country, and I'm British.
Right? Why am I not part of your country?
You're Jewish, and you're prayed to be Israeli Zionist. Do you know anything about Christian religion or British, European?
Tell me.
In this country. You don't know the first commandment? I'm sorry, I don't know anything about Hebrew.
I don't know what you're asking me for.
It's love your neighbour. Have you got anything similar to that in the Jewish religion? What?
We all say love our neighbour.
An eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. That's what it is, and it's perfectly evident that you've got this here tonight.
And so what does that tell you about Jews then?
Well, it tells you that you're cruel, unpleasant people in this respect. Not in most respects.
What about
I've got friends that are Jews.
What about Hamas?
They are not Zionist Jews. What about Hamas? They're a mouthpiece.
Are they unpleasant people?
What have they done?
Are they unpleasant people? They've killed Christians, they've killed Fatah supporters.
You
asked me what they've done. You asked me what they've done.
Yeah, what have they done?
They've killed Christians, they've killed Fatah supporters.
Well, I'm not too concerned, because Jewish people, if you look through the history, are vindictive and probably evil, probably very unpleasant. Now, that's not Jewish people who live in Israel, because they're Israeli zealots and Zionists. Hopefully you're not, but I tend to think you are, because here you are doing this in public. You should be ashamed of yourself. Most English people would tell you to fuck off back to Israel.
I'm not from Israel.
But you've got relatives.
I'm from Britain.
If you're in England, you should be more English. You should be English as I am, because English culture.
English like you, I'd hate that.
I hope I'm a little bit more educated than you are.
Can I ask your name?
You're a Jewish countryman. Of course you can ask me.
What's your name?
John Sullivan.
Nice to meet you, John Sullivan.
What happened to the British forces? They were slaughtered, they were hung up with piano wire.
Why?
Because of the zealots. It wasn't the Arabs that hung them up. The Arabs might have shot them, might have stolen their trousers, might have stolen their guns. But they didn't act like cannibals. Now, you've had your Holocaust.
Who acted like cannibals?
Your predecessors. It's fun to talk to you, but honestly...
All right, Merry Christmas, and enjoy your carol service.
Don't be so silly to say that to me, mister.
Why?
Because we've had a blatant argument.
I can't wish you a Merry Christmas.
You had the philosophy. I wouldn't accept Happy Christmas for you. To everybody in England, if you're Jewish, please adhere to the British way of life, which is basically Christian, trusting and charitable. I've got to go now.
Asks for the death of all Jews. Have you heard of YouTube, sir? Have you heard of YouTube? Look out for it.